Bishop, good to see you again.
Good to be here.
We've been celebrating a fortnight for freedom this past week, ending on July the 4th. And first of all, could you tell us a little bit about what is the Fortnight for Freedom? Why did the bishops call for this?
Well, we're doing this for 3 years now, I think, and it's a time when we're trying to concentrate people's attention on the loss of religious freedom in our country. And we're seeing the attack on that with the HHS mandate and several other things that have happened that show us that religious freedom is being reinterpreted to be the freedom of worship in houses of worship, but outside of the houses of worship, really, there's a curtailment of religious freedom and conscience, the rights of conscience. I think clearly our Constitution does protect the conscience of people, but it's being limited by interpretations of the law and by new laws that are being made.
The fact that the bishops have done this for the third year in a row, does that mean that maybe the message is not getting across the way we'd like it to get across?
Well, we don't see any change in the HHS mandate, really. There's not really an accommodation there. And we continually see new interpretations of the separation of church and state. It's not even a tenet of the Constitution. It was a later interpretation, and it's just going to be moving in the wrong direction. Certainly, that's why we're trying to keep attention on this.
Mm-hmm. What are the bishops asking dioceses and parishes to do, or even the people? What are they asking of us?
Well, first of all, to be aware of it, to look at times when laws are being passed, to be advocates for religious freedom, to pray about it. That's important. That's part of the celebration is, vigils of prayer. People are asked to concentrate on this. The Knights of Columbus have been in the forefront, one of the best, the greatest, the biggest fraternal Catholic organization we have, and they've from the national direction and the local councils, we've seen a real support for understanding religious freedom and standing up for it. So we compliment them for that.
Yeah. This is a tough sell because, you look around the world and you see religious freedom under attack in so many more obvious ways. This seems to be a more subtle way. This is not China, this is not Iraq. So, is it tough for people to identify?
It's a subtle erosion of the religious freedom that we enjoy. And it is basically a secular society that doesn't understand the role of religion in society, nor the role of individual conscience. Their concentration is on individual freedom. Well, you have a freedom of conscience also, and that's what's missed.
How much can a priest say from the pulpit about this? Because we do claim this separation of church and state.
But this is not an issue that has any really to be careful about, because we're talking about freedom of conscience, freedom of religion. So whatever has to be said can be said. This is not, we're not endorsing any candidates. We're not even taking any political position. All we're doing is trying to protect religious freedom.
One of the strategies right now seems to be to let the courts decide this, and certainly in some appeals courts it's gone back and forth, some rulings in our favor, some against us. Is this something that's ultimately going to be decided by the Supreme Court?
Well, this is with the issue of the HHS mandate. I think it is going to go to the Supreme Court, and that's probably good that that's happening. Also with the issue of same-sex marriage and the freedom of churches not to perform this is being questioned. They say, oh, it wasn't going to happen, but it's going to happen. We're going to see us being forced out of being able to witness marriage, which has civil content and civil authority. So this is not end it. This is going to take time.
Do you see this as a problem with the church having a voice in the public square?
Definitely, it's part of it, because again, we're limited to the churches. Say whatever you want. Don't get in the public square. Don't bring your values to the public square. Keep them to yourself. That's wrong. That's not what a free society is about. That's what happened with communism and with dictatorships. That's the difference. There's religious freedom of worship, but there's not freedom of conscience, which is something else.
Sure. Well, it's a relevant topic on this 4th of July, Bishop, so thank you for talking with us today about it.
You're welcome.
Yeah.